What's up, YouTube? It's Biblical Truther. I'm leaving out of New Orleans. It's pretty bad overcast. Hurricane Laura is a Cat 4 now. It's about 4:30 on Wednesday. And man, I pray I'm wrong about the oil storm, but remember, hurricane season goes all the way to the end of September. I think possibly even the first week of October. But I don't know how many of you guys watch the videos that Pastor Dana Coverstone puts up. But he put one up yesterday that kind of caught my attention. J.K. Bugout had reposted it, and I was watching on the way home yesterday. And he was saying in his dream, he started out with the month of November, and then he said he had another dream Monday night, but he didn't say that one was tied to the month of November. I just assumed it did because he didn't make a distinction whether or not it was correlating to the dream he had previously that he was saying in the beginning. But anyway, part of that dream, the second dream that he was talking about, was people in shelters on the Gulf Coast. And again, you know, I keep making videos about the oil storm situation, but like I said, if we skate by and that scenario don't happen, that's great. You know, I pray it doesn't, because that's gonna put a hurting on us. So again, keep an eye, man. These storms keep on coming here for the last couple of years, it seems. Some of them are strong, some of them are not. But I would definitely keep watch for the rest of this hurricane season, because I just strongly feel that something bad's going to happen with one of these. And being that they tell us what they're going to do before they do it, you know, with Satan trying to be like God, deceiving people with movies and whatnot, I still feel strongly that it's a very good possibility before the end of this year that'll happen. And then him, Pastor Coverstone, putting that dream up, or talking about the dream he had where people on the coast, the Gulf Coast, were in shelters, just seems more of a confirmation to me. But anyway, that's the first section of this video. The second one I want to talk to you about is, for a couple years now, I live about not even a quarter mile from a gas pipeline. You know, they usually have it cleared out and signs clearly marked, usually fences at all the road crossings saying underground gas line, do not dig here. Well, I live out in the country, got a couple acres out there, and I'm about 15 miles from the nearest train tracks. And I've lived in towns and cities before close to railroad tracks, so I know what they sound like. And us being so close to this pipeline, for about the last week, we've been hearing what sounds like a train, which we've been hearing for a couple years now. We thought it was, you know, we were just hearing the train, but there's no way 15 miles away we'd be able to hear that train coming through. But for about the last week, we've been hearing it every night, and sometimes during the day, it just, you know, that low rumble of what sounds like a pretty loaded down train. And being that I work construction, I've been, you know, doing commercial work for a long time, running jobs and stuff. I've been out in NASA, the Stennis Space Center, right there between Bay St. Louis and Nicholson, Mississippi. And I've done several jobs out there, even back, you know, 15 years ago when I was doing concrete work. I've been out there, so I've seen and heard from people that's worked there about these underground tunnels that nobody really knows where they go, but I've seen the entrances to them. It kind of looks like those dome type of shelters with, look, you know, big heavy doors, and you can see trucks going in and out of them, you know, semis, 18-wheelers, going in and out of these tunnels. And even back when Katrina hit, my mom was with a guy at the time who worked out at NASA, and they actually went into one of these when the storm came ashore, because the eye of Katrina actually passed right over Stennis. And she told us a story about them going in this bunker type thing that went pretty deep in the ground, and they came out when the eye wall was like past, and they were seeing, you know, the whole story of seeing the sunlight, and it looks like a clear day, and what, you know, all that in the eye of a storm. And then they went back in before the eye wall passed. So I know these tunnels are out there, and there's been leaked maps in the past that show all these tunnels that connect to cities and basically spiderweb across the United States. And a lot of people like Richie from Boston and several other people, even people that just randomly post videos to YouTube, have seen mass amounts of military vehicles at rock quarries and all these other kind of excavated sites. And that would be a great cover to have, you know, these underground tunnels come up to the surface. But Richie actually posted a video, I think it was Missouri or Minnesota, somewhere up in that area. Could have been even the Dakotas, I don't quite remember, but it was a rock quarry. And he said there were several of them that he was getting pictures of that had massive amounts of troop carrier, army trucks, you know, deuces as they're called. They had big old Bradley vehicles with the crowd disbursement equipment on the top. And there were hundreds and hundreds of these trucks. And the people that live in the area never saw them get shipped in. So how did they get there? Well, every time something significant's happening in the world, especially in the United States specifically, my wife and I hear that low rumble of a train. Now, I don't know what a maglev train sounds like, but you know, there's conspiracy theories about maglev trains that actually connect continents even, that the elites have and they use to travel. But I just wanted to ask the question, is there anybody else out there that hears these type of sounds that are near these pipelines, gas pipelines, or any type of pipeline for that matter? Because I truly believe that these pipelines are actually covers for tunnels, and it's actually running north-south, kind of actually northwest, from the northwest to the southeast, straight towards Stennis Space Center. So it's probably about 5 to 8 years ago, I can't remember exactly when, they expanded the entrance to Stennis Space Center. It used to be just a 2-lane road going in there. Now it's a 4-lane, almost highway, connecting the interstate to the entrance into Stennis. And same thing off the exit going towards Bay St. Louis or Waveland on the other side, the south side of Stennis. And we were all like dumbfounded. Sorry it's raining, but we were all dumbfounded at why they were making such an expansion to the road. And because there's really no trucks that go in and out of there that anybody sees. On the east side of Stennis, there's an airport there's usually a cargo plane, Army cargo plane there, because my wife's stepdad actually is the lead Navy SEAL out there. He's an independent contractor, but they train like people from South America, Brazil, and Cuba. They bring troops up here and they train them in aquatic warfare, like, you know, the big boats with the 50 cal guns on them, and they do all these, training ops with helicopters out in the bayous out there, and teaching them how to shoot from boats and all that. So there's a lot of military presence already at Stennis. And Raytheon has a plant out there. They make Tomahawk missiles, I know for a fact, because my wife's grandpa used to work for that company. I don't know if it's Raytheon or not that does the Tomahawk missiles, but I know Raytheon's out there. There's another big munitions contractor that's out there, and they make all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of secret things going on at Stennis, and I know for a fact, and 6 other guys that were with me when I was about 12 or 13 years old, we were playing football one night at a friend of mine's house in his front yard. And you know, the true community knows that the government has these triangle crab, and we actually seen one night while we were out playing football. It flew right over the top of us. It was triangular shape. Didn't make any noise till it got right above us. I mean, it passed directly overhead, right over the little field we were playing in, and no sound till it got right above us, and all we heard was woo, 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 and then it stopped when it got past us, and then here come 2 Blackhawks right behind it. So, you know, we were all freaking out. You know, we just saw a UFO, blah, blah, blah. Went back to playing football, and here it come again, coming back from the same way it went, you know, going back towards Stennis. And same thing, no sound till it got right above us. Then it passed us up, no sound. And then here come the Blackhawks following it back to Stennis. So Stennis has been up to some pretty high-tech, pretty classified stuff. And I'm wondering now, you can drive past the airport on the east side of Stennis, and there's like 5 cargo planes there now, and they're always there. I think 1 or 2 of them's Coast Guard, and the rest are Army. But there's never been that many cargo planes. You know, the big C-70s or whatever they called, the big ones with the drop door on the back that you could fit, you know, a pretty good amount of Humvees and troop carriers in, the big cargo planes. So I'm just curious to know, you know, if anybody else has heard these noises, because I believe that they're, you know, getting these military sites stocked with vehicles via these tunnels. And what better cover for a rock quarry to be the, you know, entrance or exit of one of these tunnels than to, you know, be a rock quarry, an excavation site, you know, because all the trucks running in and out of there, no suspicion there, because they're, you know, digging granite or coal or whatever else, that copper, you know, mining whatever else they're mining. But I don't think it's a coincidence that, you know, that's where all these troop carriers and trucks and Humvees are showing up at all over the country. And the maps that were leaked, I don't think they show every tunnel, because there's one that comes down towards our area but doesn't get near Stennis. But I know for a fact they're there. Just don't know where they go, how deep they are. But it's just kind of funny that we hear these noises, and now there's equipment all over the country, you know, just popping up basically overnight, and nobody in these towns or nearby towns or these sites have seen them being trucked in. So I just want people to, like, you know, keep an ear out. Do you live near a pipeline or something of the sort, and hear these low rumbles, like it's almost like a low thunder, but it sounds just like a train? Could that be why they got signs up saying don't dig here? You know, people's not allowed to dig within so many feet of it, and then you got to call 811 or 411, whatever it is in your area, for them to come out and locate all the utilities and all that, so you don't dig it up. But I don't know, just curious, just asking the question, does anybody else hear that? Because it's been pretty busy the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Every night it's going on, sometimes during the daytime into the nighttime. From the time I get home till 8, 9 o'clock, you can hear like a train just constantly running. And that's kind of what you would expect with hundreds and hundreds of vehicles. You know, we do see them on the train tracks and, you know, out in the open. But there's some that get to certain places and nobody knows how they got there. So, I mean, there's really nothing we can do other than just be aware that, you know, these things are there and they're using them to basically have some type of FF happen, and they're already set up with their equipment all over the country. So this video is just to basically either open some eyes and not create, but have people become watchmen. Start warning people of the things that you see and hear, because they've done brainwashed us so bad to the point where they tell us not to believe our own eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like the moon and the sun being the same size. It just so happens by random Big Bang chance that they ended up a certain distance from the earth to be the exact same size when you look at them. You know what I'm saying? Just the stuff like that they lie to us about. Richie started putting up videos, where he was zooming in on the moon, and all of a sudden on the mainstream they're like, oh, scientists were wrong, the moon is actually closer than they thought. It's just so crazy, man. It's crazy. But just be awake, be aware, and if you see these things just start popping up around you, are you hearing these noises like stuff's being moved around underground, man, put it out there, let people know, because I do believe we're being surrounded on the slick, and we just need to be ready, because they're gonna jump eventually. They're gonna jump, and we need to be able to jump back, because when evil rises, God says he will raise a standard against it, and that standard starts with us. The people who are seeking God, the people who are following Christ, those are the ones that he's going to have stand up as that standard against evil. And he's done it all throughout history. You can read it in the Bible. That is our history. So be awake, be aware, and love you guys. Let me know if y'all hear these things. I'm just curious. I'm really interested to know.